and I went away. So I was out of town, and now I'm back. I had a lovely, lovely time with my honey bunny, and we went to this beautiful town called Campeche. It is a what's called a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And it's a beautiful old walled city on the Gulf, and you can just walk and little cafes. It's not exciting, which is just up my speed. So, all right, good. Looks like we're doing well. Let me just make sure and check with my team. How do I sound? Let's see. Do I sound okay? So frequently, there's so many different little technological things that we do to get together here. So, all right, good. So assuming we're fine, welcome, and having a beautiful week this week is inevitable for you because we're still, oh my gosh, not much. We're on our last day or so of Sagittarius energy. And so, okay, good. We got the sound. Everybody's good. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Damaris. Hi, Eris. Hi. Okay, good, good. I'm so glad. So we have today and tomorrow is all you have left of Sagittarius season with Jupiter as the ruler. I'm a Sagittarius, of course. And so what's nice about Sagittarius for everybody is that it's a very playful and happy and positive and optimistic and uplifting sign. It is an energy that always is about expansion. Like, what could be, and what could be the next thing, and what could be even better than this, because Jupiter is all about expansion. It's also about boundaries not existing a whole lot, and so there's different aspects of energy you've been playing in that you want to kind of take advantage of, or maybe help decipher what's been happening in your life. So I love the spiritual weather report because for me, I am always looking at what are the energies right now, because I want to have the easiest, most fun possible, quickest, whatever is the optimal quality, I guess, of the moment. And I spent so many years, 35 years now, I think, that I've been on a conscious spiritual path. And now what happens is it's like, why is this like this? Why is that like that? I don't want this pain. That's how we start, and that's okay. But what I'm here to tell you to do and invite you to do is we're in the decade of metamorphosis. This is the grand reset, societal reset, the grand transformation. There's all these different words that not just ancient cultures who could read the stars and knew all this and paid attention to it. However, even astronomers and scientists and all kinds of different people, then when you read energy like I do, you start to understand, wow, yeah, the full moon and the new moon are a different energy. If there's an eclipse, if we're in Sagittarius, if we are in Capricorn, which is next, very different energy. My children are Capricorn, my dad is Capricorn, lots of Capricorn in my life. And a lot of my chart too for hard work. And so we can optimize our lives. We can literally say, you know, okay, I really don't want this pain anymore. I don't want this physical pain. I don't want this emotional pain. I don't want this identity within me, this poor girl that says in my head every day, you're no good, you can't have it. Of course, you're going to fail. If you try, it won't work. You didn't do the right thing. There's not enough, and so on and so forth. I know because I've lived in that for most of my life. And I'm free of most of it, and I'm processing the rest of it as it comes up. Graciously, gratefully, happily, because I want to know what's inside of me. I don't want it suppressed anymore. I don't want it hidden. I don't want it locked in a dungeon. The parts of you that you're afraid of, the parts of that you're ashamed of, the parts of you that you don't want to think about, all those different things. Now, what do I mean they're in a dungeon? Because when I do work with clients and students, and it's what I'm teaching you to do in Intuition Awakening and the Becoming an Akashic Light Reader, and all the other things that we do in my reality. It was really fun. We're doing a class called Energy Cleanses right now. And if you haven't gotten it, it's still on sale. And I highly recommend it because it is some of the most powerful yet simple tools that I know from decades of study with shamans and becoming a homeopathic doctor and all these different modalities. And I combine everything together and simplify it down so you can activate your bodies, your light bodies, your energy bodies every day, and you can cleanse and clear your home and yourself. So one of my clients yesterday said in class, I'm combining your communicate with your past lives meditation. So that's on the shop. And what happens is I think it's 30 minutes. This is not a big, long course. However, the raccoon was trying to peek. Hi. However, she really loves this. There's several clients who email me regularly about some of the different things they do, or repeating. When you have a private session with me, you get the recording and it's always a healing or a journey or something. It's very profound what you get. You listen to it, you take notes, you re-experience it, you process it, you heal with it, and so on. So she combined the communicate with your past lives meditation with some of the energy cleanses she was using. And she said it was just out of this world. So I thought, wow, that was just such a juicy idea. And so when you get the opportunity to realize that you are the creator of your reality, even though you don't feel like it, if you feel buffeted about by your emotions, I remember distinct feeling when I was becoming very conscious of, I do not like living with these feelings of grief, regret, deep self-judgment, just massive amounts of self-judgment, just pouring. Couldn't pile enough, shame and failure and every other thing on top of myself, even though I had done nothing really all that big. And it was after my first business had to close in the end of the 80s when all the department stores went bankrupt and didn't pay me. So logically there's explanations, but I'm interested in the energy underneath it. So if I know what the energy is around me, then I know why I'm feeling this or that. Why am I feeling really slow? Why am I feeling really intense? Why am I feeling really this? I want to know, is it communication? Are you listening to your body? Is it, oh, that's right, we're in the middle of an eclipse. Well, what does that mean? Okay, so I'm giving you information all along the way. And this coming year, we're going to do some fun things where we'll do a show just about eclipses, or just about full moons, or just about retrogrades. Okay, these kinds of things that everybody's becoming familiar with, but you could just go back to and say, okay, what is the generic, the overall purpose, the powers, the embodiment possible with this particular energy? So instead of like, oh, it's the full moon, that's right. What does that mean? You could reference that. All right. So with this path into the solstice, we're leaving the Sagittarius energy, which is all those things I mentioned. We're going into Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy, I happen to love and adore my Capricorns. I also actually had goats, actual goats. I had Augie and Nellie when I lived in Mexico, and I can tell you that they are wow. I absolutely love goats, and they have a powerful sense of humor. They are stubborn, they are hard-headed, and they like to butt you with their head. So you want to think about what that means. Okay, so I'll give you a clue. I have twin Capricorn girls who are now 25. When I met Chris, they were 8 or 9, and I told him, I just need to explain to you something before you meet them. No matter what you say, could be, I'm going to buy you the biggest ice cream in the world. They're going to say no. That's what a Capricorn does. Now, maybe it doesn't come out of their mouth. However, it's always no. Put on the brakes. Now, even a second later, my one daughter might go, no. Oh, okay. Because, of course, she said no before she even knew what I was asking. However, if you understand that energy as we go through this next season, we go through this next month and into the new year, the Capricorn energy can be very, very helpful. They're very hardworking. They're very good with money. They're very sure-footed. They have a great sense of humor. They're extremely stubborn. Well, how could stubborn be a quality to your advantage? Well, I can tell you that when I grew up, I was a people pleaser. I didn't speak up. I didn't ask for things like, I was kind of, I was playful and outgoing. However, I wasn't comfortable around asking for things or asking questions. And I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. And I was always trying to please everybody, wanted everybody to be happy and everyone to like me. I watched my children grow up and they're telling everybody what's what from day one. I never would have done that. So it was kind of a joyful experience to get to see them speaking their truth and standing up and having boundaries, which it took me 30 or 40 years to discover what is a boundary. So what we want to do is transition. Could we bring some of this playful, expansive, positive energy? I can do it, this dream energy into the new year. I highly recommend it. Can we then step into being sure-footed, climb the highest mountain, work hard as necessary, mix the play and the hard work, be stubborn when it's to our advantage? Now, no, wait a minute. I'm not just going to say yes. Oh, no, wait a minute. Let me think about your offer. I'm not going to be pushed. I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be gaslighted or all these different things, right? So there's every sign, every planet, every energy that we deal with that's in our natal chart, therefore part of our soul blueprint. That includes your starseed origins and the stars that you've been to and the stars that you've been to university on. What I'm seeing a lot in the starseed sessions is a couple people have gone to their starseed origin planet, but most people are remembering where they went to schools and that they're being reunited with mentors on these other stars, and they're being reunited onto a path of wisdom, of training, almost like, in Doctor Strange, he goes, or whatever, these places that train, not for fighting, but that inner Zen training, that idea of becoming one, and Buddha and Zen and this kind of thing. A lot of that is happening. So if you feel like you're being called back to your star seed, you feel like there's a very ancient but very familiar sensation to something you want, but you don't know why, and you've never wanted it before in this life. Or is there something you used to love and do that's resurfacing now when you were a kid, when you were more playful, or maybe you were more connected and trusting, right? You were more in alignment with your truth. The biggest thing we want to take from Capricorn season as we enter the new year is Capricorns are their own authority, and every one of us needs to adapt that quality, okay? What does that mean? Again, that means their first thought isn't, oh, what are you saying? How can I help you? Did I do something wrong? Can I please you? What does that look mean? None of that is going on, okay? So if you've had some of that, which was me, that sense of needing to caretake everybody, needing to be better, be good enough. I have Capricorn and Saturn, which is kind of tough, okay? It's hard work and discipline and do this. They play like this in almost every part of my chart, so there's no way to get away from them. So the benefit that's been is that I work hard. The downside to it is that I work hard. So now as you wake up and you become aware, you activate more of your senses, you go to the intuition awakening, or you find the energy cleanses, you finally start to give yourself a daily routine. Please, if you don't get the energy cleanse class, just get yourself a daily routine. Get something where you are cleansing your energy, your mind, your home, your land, your body, your car, everything within and around you to align with the optimal for your highest good at this time. Come back closer and closer into alignment with your soul's signature frequency, the vibration that you are putting out. And it is not being a victim. It is not being a failure. It is not being in fear. It is not being in pain. Okay? None of those things are true. They were a pattern. They were an experience that needs to be completed now. So when you take back your power by cleansing your energy, cleansing your mind. Yesterday, I taught everybody one of my favorite cleanses, which is called the mind-eye cleanse. And so it cleanses the mind. That means foggy, confused, overwhelmed, fearful, angry, worrying, any stuck energies in the mind. It clears beliefs and thoughts, but it also goes through the brain, clearing the glands, through the chakras, the third eye, the crown. So it's quite a profound cleanse that you could just do that. Everybody was like, oh, wow, I feel so high and drunk and it's awesome. And we're just all high on energy because we start getting out those blocks and those heavy energies we carry and these attachments. And if you feel any area of your life is in struggle, it means you're attached to something. Okay? You're like, I want this, but I want this, and I don't want to look at that. So that's why I'm telling you that the solstice is interesting, because it's the dark time. This is for in the northern hemisphere, and if you're in the southern hemisphere, this is the biggest light day. So it's real easy to kind of tune into like, woo, light portal is going on. So we're going through that energy into the solstice. So today, Sagittarius, tomorrow, Capricorn is starting. The next day is the solstice, and then a few days after that, we have a new moon in Capricorn, and we have Chiron, who's the wounded healer, going direct. It's been in retrograde, which means it's more in our subconscious. So Chiron's the wounded healer. If it's been in your subconscious, then it's been pushing stuff up. So like my students and like me, we've been going through a lot. It's not like, oh, I'm on my path and I'm psychic and I can see things and I hear guidance and Archangel Michael is protecting my home every day, and therefore I'm just skipping along the clouds and nothing ever happens to me. That isn't the truth for anyone. So if anybody gives you that bullshit line, they are lying to themselves and to you. We're here to do this on the journey and to be in more than one state at the same time. So super pleased yesterday in the cleanse class that 2 clients, I think maybe 3, but 2 for sure, mentioned specifically that they are becoming aware of they're going through overwhelm, and yet they're testing on the scale. The scale of consciousness is in the shop, and you can check the shop out. I'm trying to show you something there. And okay, let me share my screen with you. All right, so here's shop.nanakasha.com, and they were testing themselves on the scale, and this is the energy cleanse class. Right here on top, we put the current sale things on the top for you, okay? And it's still very, 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 very affordable. So I highly recommend that you grab that. It's going to be on sale through the solstice. And then come back and check out the Infinite Mystery School. We're going to be exploring, uncovering, awakening your multidimensional powers in new ways this coming year. All right, so now let me share here. And so on the scale, let's see if Donna remembered to have the scale. She was testing. What does that mean? I teach you to test where you are in the scale, find out what state you're in, what rate you're in, where your emotional field is in the morning, before something you do, before a meditation or after a meditation, or before a cleanse and after a cleanse, especially with the work that I do with you, because it transforms you so profoundly that you will rise up. Your vibration will raise just within the one activation, the one cleanse, okay? So next we're going to do the solstice meditation, so stick around for that. Let me just see. Here's the scale. So here's the scale of consciousness, and the lowest state you can exist in a body and still function in is shame, feeling humiliated and miserable. And this is where a lot of people carry some of that. There's a ton of blame going on now. That's the emotional state of guilt. And we go up the scale. If you go up either the state or the emotional body, you'll be able to relate to a lot of it. Do you have anxiety? And over here, do you feel like you're being punished? Do you feel like you've been condemned? Do you feel like you're enslaved or stuck? So there's a lot of information here. So what was interesting was that she was still going through overwhelm because the way she'd been operating in her life was to do too much, try to please too many people, and so on. Okay, so now she's conscious of that pattern. She doesn't have to feel bad about it or judge it. And then yet she was testing at 400. That is above acceptance, which is the target state. And it's where understanding comes in and things become meaningful, right? And you can actually process things that you don't have to say, well, that's not fair, therefore this has to happen. You can say, wow, that's not fair. And I'm going to release my attachment to it. I don't need to be carrying that around, right? You can be in two places at once. And it's a very wise perspective. So she found she was actually walking around in a higher state of consciousness up here at 400 while she was still in overwhelm. And so she's like, it's very weird and confusing because I used to just be in overwhelm, but I wasn't conscious of being in overwhelm. That's what happens as you do this work. You cleanse and clear. You start to be able to rise up and walk through anything at a higher state while you're still experiencing it in your 3D body, okay? Another client said yesterday that they'd been vibrating at 350, which is acceptance, which is a fantastic place to be. Believe me, most people do not vibrate that high. And she used to be way down on the scale when she first started to work with me. So she's like, oh, it's been so great. For weeks now, I'm almost always right around 350. That's a big change, and it's a profound sign that the work she's doing is taking effect at a deeper level. And then some things happened, triggered her, and she fell down to 75, grief and regret. Well, she's processing her mother dying and she's cleaning her mother's house out, so it's not surprising that piles and piles of grief came back up. Did it mean that she did something wrong? No. Does she have to be mad at it or judge herself? No. She can just go, wow, look at all that grief, look at all that regret. I'm going to accept it. All right, then you start going back up. But she was smart. She went and did one of our cleanses because she's in the cleanse class. She also took the Akashic Light Reader class. And she did that, and it takes about, I don't know, let's say 15 minutes. And then she tested again, and she was at 400. So she fell into all this grief, and she was wallowing in it, and she was feeling it, and she was processing it, and it was there, so it's okay to accept it because it's there. But when we accept it, it transmutes, it leaves. We transcend out of it. There's no more need for thinking about it. Everything is forgiven and let go. And as soon as she just took 15 minutes to do a cleanse, she freed herself from fear, grief, anxiety, craving, anger, hate, scorn, even courage, and went all the way up to reason. So that is when you go, wow, look, I am the creator of my reality. I do have the power to change and shift myself. I can be affected and infected by energy around me, whether it's people, places, planets, or things, and it does have a profound effect on me. All right, so let's quickly just recap what we talked about. So the solstice is a golden light portal, and in a minute we're going to do our meditation and we're going to walk through it. That way you can use that meditation all week if you want to, and any other time you feel. Where's your light? So this is a time of darkness. In darkness you can rest. It's the womb, it's the renewal, it's the reseeding and growing, nourishing and strengthening. So that's fine. But now you're looking for the light. Now we're turning back towards the light. We've been going deeper, 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 deeper. And on the solstice, we stop going towards the dark. It literally is the day of the longest night, shortest day, or vice versa if you're down below. And then we turn and we immediately start to add more light. So you're going into the light, and your light is your sun. It's your power, your purpose. It's your ability to grow things. So what have you planted? Well, now we have a new moon coming up just after this. So that's where you plant seeds. All very interesting energies this week. So be in your Sag, positive, expansive, happy self. Think about the seeds you've been planting and growing. Believe in them. Spend the time in your belly, in your heart, and then walk through that portal with these seeds, saying, I'm bringing them into the light. Okay, I'm bringing them into the light. And as you move through the solstice portal, you want to be at the highest possible vibration you can on the scale, like I just showed you, because you are the one directing the portal. When you go through an eclipse, when you go through a full moon, when you go through a solstice, these are portals or gateways that literally open energy where you can then go to a different timeline, go to a different reality. You may not notice a big shift, but you suddenly start to realize you no longer feel regret and grief anymore. You feel lighter, you feel happier, you feel more potential. All right? What your vibration is doing, you can't fake. That's why I tell you, activate your light body every day and cleanse with all these different cleanses I give you in the energy cleanses class. It, in and of itself, even my advanced students who've been through the full 3-year light body school, who've been through the chakra upgrade, who've been through 2 intuition awakening courses, still, and the Akashic Light Reading certification course we just finished, still taking the energy cleanse course. Okay, so I want you to direct your portal through your vibration by being aware of it, not being afraid of it. Find out where you are on the scale. Get some way to cleanse yourself. Do it every day. Do it multiple times a day. Do it after something that upsets you. Do it before you're doing something you want to be clear for. Who you're being determines your vibrational rate, and that determines your reality. So there isn't any way around that. The new moon in Capricorn, very different energy. We talked all about that, hard-headedness and all of that. And what do you want to plant next year? So you're going to carry the seeds from this time of darkness. And I would suggest you gather up some of the Sagittarius energy and bring it with you and walk through this solstice like a golden portal, like you're a goddess or a god just walking in flowing robes, and be ready to age in reverse. So that's another thing, quality of Capricorn, you don't hear a lot of people talk about, but believe me, I know it's true. Capricorns age in reverse. If you have one in your life, just take a look. My dad is much more playful and less structured as an older person. My children are more serious than me still, but are more and more fun the older they get. So Capricorns end the year as the old man and begin the year as the new baby. What could you complete your aging process? What old stuff don't you need anymore? What old stuff are you ready to renew? Okay, so all of those beautiful qualities we talked about. Then we talked about Chiron, the wounded healer's back. It's going direct, and because of its powerful effect on us, you really want to pay attention. So we've all been pushing wounds to the surface to be completed. This year has been one of the most powerful ones for that. The eclipse is still powerfully affecting people, and it's 6 weeks ago. I think maybe more. I like the energy of Chiron, though, because this celestial being reminds us that we are our own healer. A lot of astrologers that give this kind of information say, oh, it's the wounded healer and your wounds and this wounds and wounds and wounds, okay? I want you to know you have wounds. You don't have to go look for them. You will find them and trip over them as you move towards what you want. So just go up that mountain. You're going to become that sure-footed goat. You have all you need. Go up to the highest point that you can. And remember, Chiron is the wounded healer. That means he's the healer who learned to become strong and wise and sage through the wounded journey. And that's the hero's journey. That is life on earth. You come with a lot of patterns from other lives that need to be completed, and this life is a key life in your soul. I talk about this a lot, but this life, you may feel like you're not good enough and you're not important and whatever, but you are the most important life in your soul in this moment. So you're the healer. And yes, you might be wounded. No, you are wounded, okay? I've never met anybody who isn't wounded in some way, isn't carrying shock for something. You can pretend all you want. It doesn't mean you have to be miserable. I have tons of wounds. I've had more physical illnesses patterns come back up in the past 2 months that, do I go to a doctor? Is this the end of my life? Is this? And I walk through every day. So like I said, my life is magical. I live on the beach. I have magical clients. I get to do expansive psychic energy work and travel to other planets. And every time I do a session with somebody, something new happens that I've never seen before. It's an absolutely wonderful life. I'm with my soulmate. Yes. But is everything perfect in the way that you think it has to be in order to be happy? No, because you want to love your wounds wherever they are. So they may be coming back up to be seen, to be loved, to be completed, to be let go. But the focus is now on capable Capricorn. So capable Capricorn is sure-footed, and neither of those signs believe in being a victim. Neither of those signs believe in allowing a wound to hold you back from your joy or your soul purpose. And you're doing the hard work. It's necessary to rise to the heights that others cannot. The hard work of Capricorn doesn't have to be, and it can be, you could take it on and just feel like you're just slaving away and not doing anything for yourself, or you're working hard in the old ways instead of in the new ways. When you awaken your intuition, you don't have to work as hard. Because you finally reconnect to this multidimensional self that you are, that's filled with guidance and powers and other parts of you that know something. And it's just, it's such a rich world, the world that we were taught to live into, the matrix we were taught to condition our brains into, of be this, do that, listen to the church, listen to your family, listen to this person, listen to everyone outside of yourself, you're never enough, and push and all this crap. Oh my God. We're coming out of it. It's a big hot mess, but thank goodness we are, because Chiron's been in retrograde. That means it's been in your subconscious. So the healer has been in your subconscious, but it's the wounded healer that's been in your subconscious. So you can now make sense of everything that's been being pushed to the surface, because Chiron's been going through and they're going, oh, I'm going to move this boulder and find this juicy, goopy old thing. Let's pull it up to the surface, because this holds a lot of power. And once we stop protecting it, being afraid of it, or anything, your wounds no longer mean what they meant. They don't mean you're a bad person. They don't mean that you can't ever speak up again. I've seen so many other lives, past lives, where people died saying, I'm never going to use my voice again because people were hurt. I'm never going to be a healer again. I'm never going to be psychic again. I'm never going to go against this. I have to do what everyone else says because I got killed, my family got killed, my money was taken away. I've seen it all. And it's all happened in our history, and it's all happened to you, and it's all happened to everyone. So a lot of my students were re-burning at the stake and re-experiencing torture and being outcast and being hostage and all kinds of things internally, because they're activating their light body, they're cleansing away this old stuff that doesn't need to be there, and that's raising your vibration. So when you raise your vibration, you kind of stir things up, and things that can't come with you, those old heavy grief, regret, anger, shame, blame, misery stuff, can't rise to those, but it can be transmuted and transformed, and Chiron is here for that. So all those things that have been coming up, hooray. So now you're going to go forward with what you've excavated in your subconscious as healed, powerful parts of you. So you've got a lot of energies this week. Mars is still in retrograde, which I think is great because it's giving us calmer energy for the holidays. And there can be a lot of drama with families, either trauma or sadness of loss around this, or being triggered, or feeling like you have to go spend time with certain people and they drag you down, whatever it is. So let the Mars that's down in your subconscious give you power, because that means it's in retrograde. It's more within. It's more deep. It's not so out there making things, poking conflict and war and arguments, but it's maybe poking it within you. So you go in and you ask Mars, hey, instead of poking that, how about you give me your power to walk like a warrior who's proud and tall, that isn't causing, but like a warrior that knows, I trust myself, I'm strong, I've been through this, and I can walk through this the way that I want to. So that's another reason why I highly recommend you grab the energy cleanses class right now, because you could cleanse and clear all the way to when Christmas and New Year's and anything you have to go to, as well as to your job and everything on the day. So that nice kind help to not be reactive. Then we've got Mercury going retrograde. That's not this week, but that will be coming. So you're going to start to feel that. What does that mean? Where Mercury is our messenger. And so it means our messenger, instead of being out there saying this way, that way, let's do it, it's coming in and going to sit with you in your subconscious. So you might start feeling that. The first energy you're going to feel is just a little bit more balanced stillness as it shifts directions. So slow down, pause, reflect, gather your past wisdom. You can manage your holiday stress. Energy cleanse class is excellent for this. And here's a little bit of share of what's right outside here for me. We had such an incredibly calm day. It was crazy. The mornings are pretty calm, but this was like still, just still, absolutely still. So, thank you, Donna. I didn't know she was putting there. These are a few pictures from my birthday trip. That's Archangel Michael up there. The sunsets in Campeche are amazing. There's my magical unicorn balloon, because I have to have a light up balloon for my birthday. And this year they had a magical unicorn. This is this beautiful hotel. It was a house that we stay in, and the moon right up outside our window. And here we are on the boardwalk watching the sunset, just exquisite sunsets. Sunset, Archangel Michael, and Campeche. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I will see you in a moment as we go on over here to do our solstice gate multidimensional meditation. Namaste.